Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So today we're gonna continue talking about limiting beliefs. Why? Because every single person has them, every single person struggles with them, and every single person is obviously limited by them because they are limiting beliefs. So if you think that you don't have any, you are wrong. It's impossible that you don't. So I'm gonna give you an example. There are some limiting beliefs that have been with us for our entire lives or majority of our lives. And we are so convinced that they are facts and they are truths that we are not even considering them to be limiting beliefs. We do not think they're limiting beliefs. We think, oh, this is just a fact. And then we don't recognize every single limiting belief we have. So, for example, myself, as you know, I'm also a psychologist. And I definitely know what limiting beliefs are. And of course, I have some that I'm aware of. I have some that I have worked on, and no longer have. And I also had some, and maybe still have some that I don't even realize I'm having. So I'm gonna give you an example of one limiting belief that I didn't know I had up until around 2 years ago. So you guys already know that I was bullied a lot when I was a child, and also a bit when I was a teenager. So basically, I never really had female friends. I did have a female friend here and there, but usually just one, and it was for a brief period. And for the majority of my life, I've only had male friends. And therefore, I have had up until 2 years ago this belief that I only connect with males, that I can only be friends with men, and that females don't like me, females don't want to be my friends. Also, that we have nothing in common, we just don't click. It just they're boring. I wouldn't have any fun with them. I just I thought that it's like both ways. They don't like me, I don't like them, and that's just how it is. Now imagine how stupid this is. It's insane thinking that all the women in the whole world dislike me and don't want to hang out with me, or all the women in my town. That is insane. And also, I was convinced that this is a fact. I never considered that this could be a limiting belief because I was so sure, okay, women and I, we're just not a thing. We just don't click. So, around 2 years ago, or maybe a bit more, I'm not really sure. I did talk about this on my channel before, so I'm not sure what the exact period is, but it is around that time. I think a bit more than 2 years ago, but yeah, never mind. It doesn't matter. I was really craving some female company because, like I said, I only had male friends, and my only female friend has moved years before that. So, like, now it's almost 10 years ago, I don't know. And we almost never see each other. So I was basically always with men. And I was like really thinking, oh, I would love to have a female friend. And I did a spell, a friendship spell. And this is not about the spell, but the spell did work beautifully. And it actually brought me not one, but like, I don't know even how many, like six female friends. So now I have a group of female friends, which has never happened. I also had the limiting belief that at my age, I was around 40 then, 39, 40, something like that. I think 40. Um, I was convinced that at my age, I just couldn't find any female friends because I'm too old. Um, People my age don't go anywhere. People my age, especially women my age, they're all mothers. They're all at home. They're all busy. They're not looking for new friends. They all already have friends, and I had a bunch of limiting beliefs, as you can see, around the whole thing. And actually it worked on them. I realized, oh wow, why wouldn't I have female friends and why wouldn't I click with females? Like that is insane. Of course, we have something to talk about, and of course, we can connect. We're all women, and of course, there are other women my age that are, open for new friendships and all of that. So, what I'm trying to say is, I wasn't aware that this was a limiting belief I had. And, I did want to find female friends, but, before as well. But I had that limiting belief that it's just not for me and that, they just don't want me and that, it just wouldn't be fun and all sorts of stuff were around that topic. So think about if you have some similar limiting beliefs that you're not aware of, something that you think that it's a fact, and something that you thought was a fact like the majority of your life. Maybe it's, oh, I can't lose weight because, I have bad genetics. Everybody in my family you know, has a weight problem, or I have slow metabolism, or whatever it is. Um, Maybe it's I can't get pregnant. It's also a limiting belief. Um, it can be anything, guys, anything. It can even be, oh, spells don't work for me. They work for others, but not me because my situation is the worst. It can be all men cheat because you experienced cheating a couple of times or just once. It can be anything. So here's the thing with limiting beliefs. Why does the brain create limiting beliefs based on your experiences or somebody else's? Why does the brain do that? So number one is obviously that if you hear something enough times, you're just gonna start believing it, whatever it is. If you constantly hear about something, your brain will believe it, or your brain will, if you hear a commercial a bunch of times, your brain will actually think, oh, this product sounds great, let me buy this. It's how marketing works. If you hear something every day, for example, if you're a kid and you're experiencing something with your parents every single day, it's gonna create a program in your brain, obviously. So another thing that's very important to mention is that if there's some kind of traumatic experience you had or you witness somebody else having, your brain will create a limiting belief to try to protect you. So, for example, if you got cheated on, your brain will tell you all men cheat to try to protect you. It's going to be a limiting belief that's trying to protect you from having that experience again. So, don't get into another relationship or become emotionally unavailable because all men cheat. We don't want to get hurt again. And, it's actually protection that is not good for you, but that's what the brain does. Brain always wants to protect you. Or in my case, some girls have bullied me and gossiped about me, so my brain was like, okay, you shouldn't be hanging out with girls. They just all hate you. You have nothing in common with them. Just stick to male friends. And it was my brain trying to protect me from having a negative experience again. So I hope this makes sense. And I really hope you guys can find your limiting beliefs because sometimes some of them are extremely hard to find and to realize what they are because you will be so convinced that this is actually a fact and this is something that is true, that's your truth. But it never is because if you think about it logically and if you think about, for example, in my example, I'm sure that everyone that was listening was kind of realizing that that was just sort of dumb of me to think. And I was seriously for decades convinced in that. So I'm sure that everybody has something just like I did. And I really want you guys to find it and to let it go and to understand that that's just a limiting belief and it's not your truth. I love you guys. I hope you're doing well. Bye.